Happy Thursday. Happy day after Christmas. How is everyone? I promise you're probably better than I sound. Oh my gosh. So I was sick. You guys know last week I was under the weather quite a bit. And I was really fighting hard to get through it. And wouldn't you know it, I stayed sick all Christmas. And now I have full-blown laryngitis, which I get quite frequently. But that's okay. I've been saving my voice up just for you guys, right? I don't necessarily feel bad, but I sound so bad. So I apologize for the voice and probably the cracking that's going to happen. And yeah, so it is what it is, right? I've got hot tea and I've got cough drops and a doctor's appointment. Another doctor's appointment. So it's all good. I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. I shared my germs with everybody. That was my gift for everybody this Christmas was Merry Christmas, have a cold. I gave that to everyone and they are so thankful. I'm totally kidding. I did have a really good Christmas though, despite the fact that I cannot talk. I wanted to show you guys these. So don't tell anybody at Beadalon that I got these, but because this is not a Beadalon product. But you know those pliers that Nile has, the Juron? I don't know how to say it. It doesn't matter because I can't say it anyway. But I asked for a pair of these. These were my little stocking stuffers this year. I'm really excited to use them. Because you guys know I love the pliers that have the tiny tip on them. These are perfect. So I got those and a couple other things, but that was probably the most exciting jewelry kind of share for you guys. So here we are on the other side of the holidays, and this can be kind of a down in the dumps time. And I know, thank you, Donna. Donna says you sound rough. I do sound rough. I don't feel rough. I sound it though. So this, like the day after Christmas, the days following Christmas can be kind of womp womp, you know, not feeling so good. Because everything has come and gone, and it's just kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of sad that Christmas is over. But it doesn't have to be. We're going to think about party earrings, right? We're going to think about parties. We're going to think about New Year's and celebrations and finishing out the year and starting a brand new year with some fun jewelry. So today's project is about cup chain. I love cup chain, and it's one of those products that, number one, Jesse James Beads has tons of. It is absolutely amazing cup chain. They have it in every color you could possibly think of. If you've not checked out the cup chain, go check it out. There is a ton of cup chain over there, and it comes in different sizes, it comes in different styles, it comes in different colors, and the color selection is wonderful. But cup chain is one of those things that some people don't buy, even though they love it, because they don't know how to use it, right? It can be intimidating because there's nothing on either end. You just have the little cups with the crystals in them. So I'm going to show you guys what I like to do with cup chain, because there's a lot of different things that you can do with it. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be intimidating. You can buy the ends that will fit on the ends, you know, that have a little loop. But you don't have to do that. If you can't find those, or you don't have any of those, or whatever, I'm going to show you how you can use cup chain without the extra findings, if you will. So, hi everybody, you guys are so sweet. I'm so happy to see everybody. Sorry, I'm just taking a second just to say hi to everybody, because I just kind of jumped right on in and didn't get a chance to say hi, Dawn. Hi, Donna. So glad to see everybody here. I apologize for my voice, but we're going to get through this because these earrings are super cool. So for those of you who don't know what cup chain is, I'm going to show it to you far away and then we'll get right up close on it. But cup chain is the little cups that hold either a gemstone or a crystal of some variety. It's kind of hard to see here, but I'll lay it down flat. So those of you who are not familiar with it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But across the back, it's usually flat. And this allows you to wire wrap this onto surfaces, or you can actually glue this down to surfaces as well. And of course, you've got the findings that go on either ends, but we don't have the findings. We're gonna work with just the wire. We're gonna use some small gauge wire for this. So, all right. So I'm using some of that beautiful, this clear rhinestone color, this clear crystal, and then I also have some black. Not only is the stone that is in this black, but also the cup that holds it, that whole hardware bit is black as well. It's really, really beautiful. You can get this over on jessiejamesbeads.com, of course. And we're also going to be using the artistic wire mandrel tool. And you guys see me use the mandrel tool all the time, and I use the round attachment that goes on this guy, because it's perfect for making hoops. Well, I thought, you know, we never use any of the other shapes. So today we're going to use the triangle, which I thought would be kind of fun to do. So let me show you the earring, and then we will get down and dirty, you guys. So this is the earring. We're going to make some party earrings. So you may not have enough time to get what you need to create these before New Year's, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to have other opportunities and other parties to wear these too, right? These are super fun. So we're going to make that triangle component. We're going to use the cup chain. We're going to wire wrap it on. And then we're also going to use one of the fabulous cage beads as well, just to give it some extra movement and some extra bling, because who doesn't love the bling, right? Okay, before we get started though, I do want to mention there is $10 off the Magical Mystery Bead Box. You guys, if you have not subscribed to the Magical Mystery Bead Box, treat yourself. Oh my gosh, love the Magical Mystery Bead Box. It's one of my favorite things from Jessie James Beads, and the $10 off even applies to the month-to-month subscription, so take advantage of that. If you have something on your wish list that you didn't get for Christmas, or if this was on your wish list and you didn't get it, now is your opportunity to go over and grab it. So don't miss out. It's a really, really good deal. All right, let's get to this. The more I can, the faster the better, right? Okay, so we've got the mandrel tool. Let me fix the lights because I want you guys to be able to see. More important that you see than you hear today, right? So I've got the triangle mandrel placed on the handle of the tool. If you guys don't have one of these, definitely grab one. You get the round version that goes on the top, or the round mandrel rather. There's also the square and the oval. So you can change these out and make different shapes. We always use the round one, so I thought it would be cool to use the triangle just to give you guys a little something different, okay? So we're going to be using that, and then, like I said, we're going to take a look at the cup chain. So the cup chain comes in really long links, and I actually cut mine down to size. Let me grab my ruler. Let's see. So it looks to be about 1.5 inches. Yeah, when you stretch it out, it's about 1.5 inches. So you're going to need 7 pieces of cup chain. So I've got 4 that are this beautiful clear crystal. And then I wanted to mix it up with a color, so we've got 3 in this jet as well. Okay, so we're just going to wire wrap these onto the component that we're going to make. So we don't have to have any special tools. There's no special findings or anything like that. We're just doing some simple wire wrapping to attach these to our component. Okay, so let's get started with the component. And what you're going to need for this is some 18 gauge wire. And I've given myself way more than I need. I've cut about 8 inches here. You totally do not need that much. You're really only going to need maybe about 5 inches of this, and you're probably going to have some leftovers, okay? On your mandrel tool, on the step-ups, we're going to use this from counting from the bottom, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to use that 3rd step up to create our triangle piece. And this is really easy. It's the exact same way that you would do this if you were using the circle, except that you want to flatten your wire out along the edges, okay? So we're going to take that wire and just kind of find the center. It doesn't have to be exact. And, excuse me, hold that down with your thumb, okay? And then I like to work on one side at a time, so I'm going to just take my thumb on my other hand and guide that wire along the surface of the mandrel over here on one side, just laying it down nice and flat, okay? And then it's already flat where we were holding it. And then I'm going to take the other side and lay it flat too. Now you'll notice I'm running my finger across it, because I do want it to be nice and flat. You don't want a big bubbly triangle, okay? So run your fingers around it. Make sure that it is laying down really close to the surface of that mandrel tool. Okay, now before we take this off of the mandrel, we're actually going to do the wire wrapping at the top, just because it seems to be easier, and this is going to ensure that you get to keep that shape. You can take it off of the tool and do this wire wrap on the top if you want to, but I just find that sometimes it comes out of the shape and the triangle will be a little bit uneven. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick one side of the wire and we're going to bend it out that direction. I just bent it with the pliers, and then the other one, I really just want to barely bend it so that it's going straight up and down, okay? So now the one that we bent out to the side, I just want to take it and wrap it around that straight section about 2 times, okay? Just like that. Okay, and then you can go ahead and trim off your ends, and it just fell right off the tool. That's fine because we're done with the mandrel tool part. Okay, so now we have this great triangle shape. It's almost perfect, right? I mean, that it works really, really well. If you've not used your tool, I see a lot of you and you're like, I have one of those, it's just still in the package. Take it out of the package. I use mine all the time, and it's so fun for making different shaped components that you can use. So Suzanne asked what gauge wire. It's 18 gauge, and I'm actually using artistic wire, believe it or not. A lot of times I use German style wire for everything, but for this component, I'm actually using artistic wire. Either one will work, makes no difference. Okay, so now we have this stick part up here at the top. We really don't need this much. We're going to cut some of that off, but before we do that, we're going to put this on the block for just a second and work harden it just a bit. And let me grab my hammer. Okay, so I'm just going to lay this on the block. Notice that the wire wraps are over here on the side off to the edge so that it lays nice and flat, and we're just going to work harden it with the nylon hammer just a tiny bit. Flip it over. Okay, so it doesn't take much. That 18 gauge wire is really going to hold its shape for the most part, but just for some extra insurance, we're going to go ahead with the work hardening. Just give it a couple of taps is all it really needs. All right, so up here at the top, squeeze my wrap down just a little bit. I'm not going to do another wire wrapped loop because this is 18 gauge wire. It's kind of thick and chunky, and I don't like that big bulky wire wrap look. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the wire and I'm going to bend it out 90 degrees this way. We're just going to do a simple loop here. Okay, so we're not going to do any wire wrapping. And I'm going to trim off so that I've got just enough to create a loop with. Okay, trimming that off, and now I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers, grabbing that wire right at the tip, and I'm just going to roll back towards the component to create a loop here at the top. And you'll notice that my loop is going side to side. That's because my ear wire, the loop on the ear wire is going the opposite direction. So it's going to hang nicely. Okay. All right, so the main component is complete. We're ready to go. We're going to move on to the next step. We're going to, let's see, we're going to wire wrap some of our cup chain to this, and we're going to do this one piece at a time. And if you don't want to pre-cut your chain, you don't have to. You can actually, speaking of, let me lay this one out so you can kind of look at it. So I cut all of my pieces to be the same length, but you could stagger these if you wanted to, right? You could make the ones in the middle longer than the ones on the outer edges, or whatever you want to do. Just giving you the basics here, and you can turn this into whatever you wanted it to be, right? All right. So, excuse me. So I've got, this time we're using some 24 gauge wire, and we're just going to anchor this wire to our component. So I'm going to flip my component over where the bottom is up here towards the top. It's just easier for me that way. And let's see, what direction do I want this to go? I want it to go this way. All right, so I'm just going to give myself a short little tail here, and I'm going to wrap it around the component about 3 times just to anchor the wire to the component. And I'm here in the middle. I'm going to slide it over to the edge here in just a second. Just wire wrap that on. Okay, trim off my tail. And then I'm going to slide this over to one side. And if your wire wraps are not nice and neat, you can just squeeze them together, okay, with your pliers. And actually this wire is going the wrong way, so I'm going to pull this one off. Notice it does make a difference, and I didn't realize it until I had already started. But that's okay, because this gives me the opportunity to show you guys why something like this would matter, right? So you can see my working end of my wire is coming towards me across the top of the component. I actually need this wire to be going the other direction. So my working tail needs to be going this direction, but I don't want it to be coming from the back. So I'm going to pull this off of there, and we're going to redo this. So what I want is my working end to be, watch me do it the exact same way this time. Nope, that'll be it. That'll be good. So I want the working end to be coming from the bottom, not through the center. That may not make any sense, but you'll see what I mean here in just a second when we start wire wrapping that cup chain on. So same thing, I just took that off. I'm just going to wire wrap this back on to anchor it to the component. Okay, trimming that off because we don't need that tail. And then bringing it over here to the edge. All right. The reason that it matters is because we're going to be wrapping across the surface of the cup chain, going between 2 of the little cups, and I need that wire to be going upwards, okay? So you can see now the wire is coming from the back, which is exactly what we needed. Okay. So we're going to take a piece of the cup chain, and I'm just going to lay this on the surface of the component. You can see there's a little bit of space in between each one of the cups, right? That's where our wire wrapping is going to go. So in order to attach this to the component, we're going to lay it on the surface of the wire, and we want that top crystal to not be attached to anything, right? We're going to go to the next, that space between that first and second crystal, and guide our wire between there. Just like that, right? That wasn't hard. It's just, I haven't even wire wrapped yet. I'm just holding it there. Going kind of in a diagonal direction, bottom to top between the first and second crystal, right? Now I'm going to guide that wire through the component, on back around, and we're going to wire wrap at least once, okay? And then our wire is coming back down here at the bottom, so we're ready to go to the next piece. And this piece is secure. It's not going to come off now. And it only took that one wire wrap to attach that. So it doesn't take a whole lot of extra work here. All right, so next I'm going to use a piece of the jet. Same thing, I'm going to lay this on the component, okay, just like so. And it's hard to see because my fingers are kind of in the way. But same thing, just want to guide that wire between the first and second crystal. And this one's giving me a little trouble. There we go. All right, so just laying it diagonally across that little space between. Guide the wire behind and on around. Okay, just doing one wire wrap. And now we've got both pieces attached. And if they're laying kind of crooked, you don't like the way they're laying, you can always come in with your chain nose pliers and straighten everything up. This 24 gauge wire is very, very forgiving, so you have the opportunity to come in and move things around before you get everything on here and make the spacing what you want it to be before you are kind of locked into what the design is going to be, okay? So there's 2. I'm just going to keep going. laying another section of the cup chain up against the front of the component. That's what I'm doing, okay? It's on the front, just in case you missed that part. I'm laying it across the front. And then I'm going to take that wire crisscross, well, not crisscross, but it's going sideways between the first and second little crystals, or the little cups rather, and then one time around for the wire wrap. And there's 3. Okay, so we're just going to keep going. Caught it with that wire. And back around. Okay. And there's 4. So we're moving right along. This doesn't take a whole lot of time. It doesn't take a whole lot of wire wrapping. It's really kind of amazing to me how little wire wrapping you actually need to do to attach this to your component. And you can trust that it's not going to come off. All right, so here is number, what is this? This is 4, no 5. Okay, I'm just laying it up there, making sure the wire is running diagonally between the first and second cup before I take it to the back. And then wire wrap around, back up to the front, and one more time around, down here to the bottom. Okay, so we've only got 2 more to go. We're going to add another piece of that jet. And we're going to go between that first and second, around to the back. Okay, and we're ready to add our last piece. Okay. Now this one you might have to play with just a little bit because you are kind of running out of room here, but there's enough room for it to fit. Okay, and now this time when we do our wire wrapping, we're going to do 3 because we want it to match where we started. So we've got the same number of wire wraps on both sides. And you can use your pliers to bring your wire wraps down, make them nice and neat. Oh, okay. And then you're just going to trim that off on the back. And that's it so far. We're going to add a cage bead to this because it just adds some extra, and we love extra. But if you wanted this to be the design and to be finished with this, you could just add your ear wire to this and call it a day. Also, something else, if you wanted to, not because it needs it, but just for a design extra, if you wanted to take your tail end of the wire and go back across the other direction between the same cups, just going the opposite direction so that that wire creates an X between that first and second cup, you certainly could do that. It doesn't need it for security, but it's just an extra little bit of wire wrapping that you can do if you want to, okay? Not necessary, but it's there. And again, if you don't like the way everything is sitting, you can come to the back and kind of straighten everything up a little bit, make sure that everything is going the direction that you want it to go. You can really play around with this, squeeze them together, pull them apart, whatever spacing you need. You can go ahead and do that at the end. Okay, but we are going to call that one done. We're just going to add one of the smaller cage beads to the center of this just because I like the extra, you know. So I've got 2 6mm jump rings and a 4mm jump ring. And we're going to attach these. I'm going to open up one of these 6mm and just run it through my cage bead right at the top where 2 of the sides come up to a point, okay? Then I'm going to thread on a 4mm jump ring just to add an extra little bit of length to this, and then I'm going to close this jump ring back. All right, now I'm going to open this jump ring, and I'm going to run this one through the center of my triangle and up through the loop so that this is going to hang in the center. Okay. Now before I close this jump ring, you can see where it's sitting. Okay. Before I close this, I'm going to thread on these guys and very carefully come in with my chain nose pliers. Close that back. I'm going to add my ear wire, and our earrings are complete. All right, ta-da! And we have a fabulous pair of earrings. These would be great, not just for like New Year's, but for date night or going out on the town with your girlfriends or whatever, where you just want to lead a little extra sparkle to your outfit. I think that cup chain is the perfect way to incorporate extra bling, right, into your jewelry designs or into your outfit or whatever you've got going on. So you don't have to have all the extra hardware for the cup chain. Just some simple wire wrapping and you've got yourself a really cool pair of earrings. I'm going to turn you around and I'm going to put one of them on so you guys can see them, okay? Whew. I made it. I made it. I was kind of concerned because all morning there's nobody to talk to. Like, my kids are here on Christmas break, but they're all asleep. They sleep late. So I haven't actually heard my own voice until I turned on the iPad. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So here are our earrings. They're so fabulous. And I'll put one in. Actually, I'll put both of them on since my hair is up, so you can see how fun those are. Aren't they great? I thought this was a cool design and relatively simple. Just takes a little bit. You know, there's not a whole lot to these, but oh yeah, those are fab. I like them. I like them. Awesome. Yay. Oh, Suzanne says, thanks for a cup chain tutorial. I needed it. Well, you know what, Suzanne? I've got another cup chain tutorial for you guys tomorrow too, over on Sarah Ellis Designs at 1 p.m. Unless the doctor tells me I'm not allowed to talk anymore, which I don't think is going to happen. Hopefully they're going to give me something to make me feel better. But tomorrow we're going to be making a bracelet using some cup chain. So if you want to see even more ways to use cup chain and incorporate it into your jewelry design, then come join me tomorrow on Sarah Ellis Designs at 1 p.m. I will have another project for you guys. I will be back here again next week, 11 a.m., same time, same place here on Jessie James Beads for another tutorial. And I should be back with Silver Silk next week too. So you guys come back. Don't go away. Come back and see me. Hopefully I'll sound better next week, right? I don't feel bad, so don't be concerned. I just sound really, really awful, but all right. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thank you for putting up with my frog voice. I'm so sorry for that, but I appreciate you sticking it out with me anyway. Hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye, guys.